Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving back into the 15-star against Kizuna Clash ALBER, the super boss. Starting it off with strength. I feel like this is probably the pinnacle of the damage that we're going to see. Now, this particular team for me is the most damage I can do. However, if you have Momo, you can slide in Momo over Whitebeard, and then instead of Luffy, you can use your own Yamato if you manage to pull the newest Yamato. And that way you guys will be able to do the most damage possible. One of my alliance members is doing around 750 billion damage with this particular build. But this particular team, like I said, it is the best that I could kind of cook up without having Momo. He just makes this team so much better in terms of damage output. But for me, I did find a way by bringing Whitebeard and then having this particular Luffy on the team. But nevertheless, look, this is the best that I could do. But if you guys want to see that, hopefully I might get like a clip from my alliance member. But on stage 2 against Who's Who, we did find out with this particular variation that if you use the Super EX of Roger and Odin on turn 1, you can get enough damage to get the 3-turn orb boost, which works very, very nicely because now you can actually carry their orb boost into the final stage. Now, if you use Whitebeard or you use Momo or anyone like that, you can actually put them underneath Yamato to guarantee you the tandem orb. For me, I'm using Whitebeard. He needs a tandem orb. I can do fast taps with my Zoro and my Luffy to guarantee myself a tandem orb when they're on the final stage. But it can go a little bit south because, as you see there, Luffy actually rolled a Wano orb. But we are using Kinemon to carry over the attack boost, the color affinity, and then we have the 3-turn orb boost. We get rid of the red Haki, and then we can remove the threshold with Luffy. Momo is going to do that. He's going to give you a chain boundary on the final stage. But for me, having the tandem orb on Whitebeard is not only going to give me that chain boundary, but he's also going to give me the increased damage taken to King. Now, a couple supports I'm using here: VV for resistance, Double Down for more resistance, and then the new Cat Viper and Dogstorm purely for the ability to get the tap ability, not really to remove the barrier. It's just that final tap buff that they give, which is really, really nice, that 10% extra damage. On the final stage, we get 70% damage reduction with Yamato because we are using her final tap. Because we have an increased damage taken with Whitebeard, we can then use Yamato. She's going to give us color affinity and then increase her own color affinity to 3 times. Zoro and Sanji are going to use their super swap, turn everyone into free spirit slashes, give the 0.5 attack and orb buff plus all the chain shenanigans of the 1.75 chain multiplier, the 0.7 for taps as well as the 2.0 chain boost. And then with our carryover of color affinity, attack boost, and orb boost, with the rush, with the super tandem, we can do quite a bit of damage here. And that carryover effect, bypassing the intimidation of the attack, orbs, and color affinity, means that I increased my damage from around 313 billion, I think, something around that, to now clocking over 400 billion. With no alliance boost whatsoever. So 411, which is about 100 billion more than what you guys were seeing in the last video, which is actually pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with the damage numbers now. And look, this generally happens with Kizuna. It starts at like 50 billion, like I saw at the start. And it makes its way up as we get a bit more of a feel for the content and we start tweaking teams and stuff. But 411 billion, pretty good. 750 if you do have Momo, though. The next variation is versus Quick, and this particular team, I'm not 100% sure who the actual original creator is, but it was brought to my attention that Law's final tap for this particular piece of content actually works better than Yamato's, which to me is absolutely crazy. Yamato being the newest unit, you'd think that her final tap at level 5 would do the most damage. However, Law's does, because it does seem that Law's final tap giving the 3.25 conditional doesn't actually get affected by intimidation, which is very, very interesting. That alone gives you an extra 3.25 damage instead of the 2.4 that Yamato's giving herself, which just in turn is much, much more. But with Nami and Robin, we can bypass that immunity and it allows us to use an orb boost and a base stat on the final turn. To get around the orb barrier, once again, we are using Yamato. You kind of need Yamato as your captain because she's going to give you the damage reduction removal on stage 2, give you the orbs to the barriers, and then get her special back by the final stage. And then you will be good to go. Now, if you guys don't have the supports of Bardo, or if you don't have the new Cat Viper Dogstorm support, don't stress with this team. If you don't have Yamato level 5, don't stress with this team, because if you have Law level 5 and you have Odin and Toki, you can actually get around the paralysis that way. So you can do some really, really fun stuff, but this is with obviously a level 5 Law, a level 5 Zoro Sanji Friend Captain, and a level 5 Rush. So that's where you see the most damage from the Rush Sanji. But with this particular team, we have Vivi for a little bit extra damage. And to get around to the defense up, we are using the Zoro Sanji friend captain. Straight off the bat, we do use the Super EX. That's just going to give us a Super type to Dex units. Using the Super swap with Zoro and Sanji is going to give us a Tandem Orb on our friend captain, which just allows us to get the extra buff from Law. Law gives a 1.5 times additional damage taken no matter what. 1.75 if you have like a Type Orb or a Wano Orb. But with Yamato, she's just going to increase it anyway. So you don't really need any particular orb on her. Having the Tandem Orb on Zoro and Sanji, though, that is actually very, very important. Because having that orb allows you to get the extra Super type buff, which makes this team do the damage it can do. Swapping with Odin and Toki is going to give you a 2.5 times orb boost. It does get affected. That doesn't get affected by intimidation. The attack boost of Law definitely does. But then Sanji gives a chain boundary. You don't have to swap into captain here, because you're getting a super type with Zoro Sanji friend captain. You're getting their chain boost anyway, so you don't have to waste your time there. Finally, we're using Odin and Toki's special. Odin and Toki's special gives the resistance down to slashes, but more importantly, it gives you a very, very big heal. And the big heal helps out a lot, because you do need to be above 70% HP to get the Law final tap. We're going to use the Rush of Sanji. That's going to tap 10 times, so make sure you guys blink a lot before you get to that particular point, because you do need to get above the 10 times chain multiplier, which, as you can see, just with Sanji alone, we managed to crack that 10 times chain. Once we do hit with Law, we are hitting above a 15 times chain. Law is going to give himself the 3.25 conditional. And with every other buff that we have, we managed to hit 557 billion damage with no alliance boost. So huge shout out to the person that originally put out this particular team build. I'll link their original video down below. I do want to give Bebro a shout out for the previous team. One of my alliance members, Itachi, came up with using the super type strat, but I know he put out a video as well because the GOAT Papi brought it to my attention as well. But that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying Super Boss. It's a little bit better than we originally expected. But if you guys aren't, I do apologize, because this one is a doozy. Well, I don't apologize, actually. I'm sorry that you guys aren't having as much fun. Nevertheless, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to go down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll catch you all in the next one.